Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us today. On this episode of Red Carpet, we speak to Nigerian-American filmmaker Amarachi Nwosu. A Ghanaian glassblower is on a mission to reduce the country's glass waste, and we visit an African restaurant in New York City. Let's get on with the show. And we begin the show with some film news. African cinema continues to evolve in the digital era with talented filmmakers from the continent staking their claim in the world stage with highly creative and imaginative pieces. Nigerian-American Amarachi Nwosu is a self-taught filmmaker whose work has landed her projects with huge global brands such as Nike, Sony, and Apple. Amarachi spoke to Red Carpet about her heritage and gave us insight into her creative process. Let's check it out.
Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started as a filmmaker? And what are some of the difficulties in this journey you faced through as a African background? What the difficulty you have in filmmaker in the United States?
Yes. So I identify as a Nigerian-American. I grew up between Washington, D.C. and Nigeria, and then fully moved here when I was in elementary school. In terms of like getting into filmmaking, honestly, I was really inspired through my frustration of not seeing enough image making that represented people like myself. And with that, you know, I had the opportunity to either complain and be sad or be the change I wanted to see. And so really, you know, that just pushed me to create the spaces that I want to see. So image making really formed for me as a photographer first. You know, the power of an image is the representation and the reflection of a society, of a world. And with that, like, I saw so many people of so many different backgrounds, experiences, and I was so curious, like, why isn't this being seen on television? Right. Why don't I have that exposure? And so that inspired me to start with photography first, which was really my introduction into image making. And then that led me to filmmaking, because the dope thing about filmmaking is the fact that filmmaking brings all these senses together. You can incorporate image making, you can incorporate music, sound, right, fashion, art direction, all together, yeah, everything. And so it's also a really collaborative process. And so it allows you to really learn from so many experiences, voices, and really I wanted to, again, just be that change behind the scenes. And this also inspired me to create the platform that I developed, Melanin Unscripted, which the idea was to show the unscripted and real life perspectives of people around the world. And so it was a mission to take the challenges of not seeing diversity in front, but also behind, and create a space where I can empower executives, creators, voices to ultimately tell these stories. And so that's a little bit about my journey.
Right. What are the difficulties? That was the second question. What are the difficulties you really went through when you started this journey, you know, as a Black African woman?
I mean, I would say like the biggest difficulties was, one, having access to resources. You know, filmmaking is not a cheap activity to be a part of. It involves so many moving parts. You have the equipment itself, then you have to bring together the crew, and then you have to get access to these different talents. And so luckily I was a part of a creative community. And so I kind of like met the challenges with collaboration, leaning on my peers, people around me who were also creators. And so again, thinking about that challenge, it was like, how can I find solutions? And it was really rooted again in trying to present the diversity I wasn't seeing in front or behind the scenes, and creating a space for that myself. But I think every filmmaker sometimes goes through a space where it's like beyond the commercial aspect of filmmaking or the documentary aspect. If you think about like Hollywood, and you think about, you know, women who look like me in director roles, there's very little representation of that. And so in many ways, I didn't have much access to people and mentors who could tell me like, hey, this is a journey that you might experience along the way. This is what you should look into. So really I went to the school of YouTube University.
Right.
And so again, with that challenge, it was like, what resources do I have? And we're in a huge world right now where we're more connected than ever. We have the digital landscape. And so, yeah, I used, online resources, my peers, my community, and we're able to meet those challenges and find solutions to just create and not wait to create to be perfect. Like, create even when things aren't perfect.
We are a sleeping giant at the moment. That giant is slowly but surely awakening.
Whatever we are doing now, it's going to reflect in the future.
We're not asking for permission anymore. We are who we are. Beautifully African.
And now to some art news. Ghana's Michael Tete, who is the country's only certified professional glassblower, says that he's on a mission to reduce the country's glass waste and wasteful imports. Tete built his own glassblowing studio in 2012 from scrap metal and clay bricks, and today produces dozens of eclectic pieces each week from recycled TV screens, window panes, and soda bottles. Here is the story from Reuters. In the burned and blistered hands of Michael Tete, molten glass is transformed into elaborate works of art. He's Ghana's only certified professional glassblower and is on a mission to use his talents to benefit the environment.
It's like life, it is expand. Life also expand. It's like a journey. Yes, you go from one after the other.
And for Tete, that journey starts here, among piles of discarded bottles. His glasswork is created only from recycled materials collected from across the capital, Accra.
But this one is very sticky and it's good for a glass blower.
Ghana imports around $300 million in glass and ceramic products each year, according to the Observatory for Economic Complexity. Around 80% comes from China. Tete says the majority of Ghana's glass waste ends up in the landfill or scattered in the streets.
We don't have a collection process, and we don't want the broken glasses to be flowing around like that, or they will dump it in a landfill. And if we are using recycle, we can get money. Yes, as we want to recycle is cheap.
The 44-year-old hails from Odumase Krobo, one of the epicenters of Ghana's traditional glass bead culture. He wants to build on that heritage and envisions a Ghana free from foreign glass. Tete has trained and hired several assistants. He hopes they will one day run their own workshops. He also wants to expand his own premises, giving a work opportunity and creative outlet to more people in his community.
We will not go to any country like China to maybe buy any material from that we want to use in Ghana. I want to make Ghana beautiful.
Considered one of the busiest cities in the world, New York City is a global cultural hub with a rich food culture that reflects its diverse and vibrant immigrant population. Inside some of its iconic buildings are restaurants that serve cuisines from around the world. On our recent trip to the Big Apple, we visited Teranga, a restaurant co-founded by world-famous Senegalese chef Pierre Cham. With 2 locations in the city right now, the restaurant has a menu influenced by West African dishes from countries like Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, and many others. We caught up with 2 of the 3 co-founding partners, Folasade Adioso and Noah Levine, who talked to us about the inspiration behind the menu, aesthetic, and vibe at Teranga.
Our menu is very unique because it features a few different recipes throughout West Africa. We have jollof rice, which is a West African staple. We also have kelewele, that is a staple from Ghana. And we also have a few staples from Senegal, like our Ndombe and our Yassa. And through one bowl, you can travel to each country, which is very unique and very special to us.
Noah Levine says that it was Chef Cham's vision to share his West African culture through food, with some of the ingredients used in the cooking sourced directly from West African farmers.
Our partner and executive chef, Pierre Cham, it's really a reflection of his vision to share traditional African recipes, but also we consciously source a number of ingredients from West Africa, including our fonio, our baobab, our moringa, our red palm oil, our bisap, really to pay tribute to smallholder farmers that are the backbone of so many agricultural communities across West Africa.
Levine is a former professional basketball player who has lived in Senegal and traveled around the continent. He says that part of the mission at Teranga is to tell the story of West Africa's rich culinary tradition and its influence on global food culture.
I think at the heart of our menu is storytelling. We really want to tell our customers the story of Africa's impact on food traditions around the world. I think a lot of people are familiar with African food, whether they know it or not. So, you know, whether it's okra or black-eyed peas or rice, things that all originate in West Africa have traveled across the world at this point. And you'll find throughout our dishes that story is being told there. I think it's incredibly important as we elevate our collective consciousness around different cultures around the world. Food is a really unifying platform for all of us.
And that story is also reflected in the vibrant and colorful aesthetics of the restaurant's decor.
Our design element as well, we took a lot of the inspiration. We went to Senegal a few times to bring back a few things, and we really wanted to just showcase the beautiful aesthetics, either if it's through food or in the design space of West Africa. Like even our stall here, I got the inspiration from Burkina Faso. So we try to incorporate as much of those elements as possible, either if it's through the food or design.
The world of non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, is getting a boost from companies and celebrities who are making digital products. But the nascent technology comes with risks, as Tina Tree reports.
What do a basketball legend, a socialite, and a fast food chain have in common? They're all advocates for non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, those one-of-a-kind digital assets whose authenticity is certified by decentralized, peer-to-peer networks known as blockchains.
We're definitely in a very crazy bull market right now. The space is exploding.
NFTs are attracting big names in the worlds of sports, entertainment, music, and fashion. But is it all just a marketing ploy? NFT projects typically involve releases or drops of limited edition digital art or virtual goods. For companies like Clinique, it's a way to engage and attract new customers. Topps, the longtime publisher of baseball trading cards, used the Wax blockchain to release more than 70,000 packs of their cards as NFTs.
We thought it would take about 30 days to sell them, and they sold out in about 24 hours.
Some say their surge in popularity is due partly to the technology becoming easier for everyone to use. At Metaplex Studios, an online marketplace, artists can set up free storefronts to sell their NFTs.
There is a learning curve, yes, but even compared to a month ago, there are now companies that are looking to improve the user experience, improve the knowledge that is required to onboard.
But welcoming more NFT creators can also attract bad actors. OpenSea, another online marketplace, recently discovered that over 80% of the NFTs listed on its site were plagiarized works, fakes, or spam.
It's important to do your research, but what does that entail for a normal user who has a daytime job, friends, and hobbies?
Analytics and research sites like Elena Guritas' Defy Trends are helping consumers navigate the world of NFTs. Perhaps a greater need going forward, as celebrity partnerships leave many with stars in their eyes. Tina Trin, VOA News.
And with that, we come to the end of our show today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. My name is Jackson Funganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voanews.com. We are also on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, where you can watch our videos. Remember to like, share, and of course, subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.